It might have been Avatar or something, but she just like clicked on the. She was like, all right, well, I know he likes seats in the middle and you know, kind of like in the middle. So she just clicked seats, and then it turned out it was the 40X seats, and she was like, oh, and then we went in there and we experienced it. We're like, whoa. Oh. So yeah, it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. But yeah, no. So that part of it was definitely a lot of fun. Like you feel you're flying, and like during all the fight scenes, you know, you're shaking around and you're getting thrown around a little bit. It's like a mini roller coaster, essentially. It's kind of wild. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a
Done pimping and yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta unpin and pin. Oh wait, here we go. Oh. Oh, how's your day been?
Uncomfortable. Had a weird experience at the store. I'll tell you about it later, but it was very uncomfortable. So I'm happy to not think about it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I can completely understand that. I can completely understand
that. But looking forward to this.
Well, there you go. That's something. Yeah, we've been having a good time with these so far. So it's been kind of nice. Surprise! It's been kind of nice. Like there's some stuff that's not exactly the best thing ever, just like any other time out there. But like, you know, it's also like, you know, we're also not ready to like, you know, go jump off any bridges anytime soon either. So that's, you know, that's always a positive.
Speak for yourself. If I have a bad episode of Doctor Who, it's good I'm not near an open window.
At that point, it's clobbering time for Sunker at that point. She's like, no more.
Clocks get thrown. Things get broken.
Oh, that is great. That is absolutely wonderful.
No, like last episode was really good. I find that it's a little bit of a multiplier effect where, like, if it's bad, it's really ticking me off bad. Or just like, you can't pretend you're a good story. You suck.
Yeah, stop lying to me and pretend. Stop telling me I'm pretty. I know I'm the ugly duckling. Quit it.
Stop telling me you're a good story. I can point out why you suck. This is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, and that's one of the worst parts. It's like, man, when they get it right, it's a good time. And when they get it wrong, you're like, oh my God, did you really just have to go all the way there? Okay, I guess this is what we're doing now.
And like, that's the thing where this is what I mean by you lower your standards, where let's be fair, the last episode wasn't that stupendous, but it had enough there where it was creative enough, it was twisty enough, and all that other stuff. Acted well enough to where you don't. It got the seal of approval, basically. And also, I'm a huge David Fincher simp, so.
Yeah, so that always makes life easier, right? That always makes life easier.
God, today sucked. God damn. Oh my God. I wish it was better and sub sluts, hey ho, says Madhouse Rich.
That's what Madhouse does. Oh yeah, last week. That's right. Last week was Knock Knock. That's right. Yeah, last week was... Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I had a crazy day yesterday. So like yesterday, woke up early because you know the kids do that sometimes, and that wasn't that big a deal. But I came out here and I was able to edit videos and all that kind of stuff while the wife and the babies were still sleeping. And so I edited all my videos early, and then I mowed the lawn, and then I changed the tire on the van because the tread was starting to peel off, and we had the spare that was brand new. So I put the brand new spare on there. So that way I don't have to worry about a pop tire while we were going on date night last night. Cause that's the last thing, you know, especially when you're trying to make a movie on time, you know, that's the last thing I need is to have to pull over to the side of the road because we blew a tire and changed that thing. So I went ahead and changed that. So I got the yard mode, I changed the tire, and then I went and did an apartment showing, and I made candy yesterday. CBD candy. So yeah.
Ooh,
we got some suckers and some hard candy and stuff like that. So I don't know. I may get one out later or I may save it. I don't know. The only bad part is because I didn't have the right thermometer, I wasn't able to get it hot enough to have it solidify at room temperature. So now I've got it all frozen now. I'm gonna throw it back in the pot, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna see if I got a battery that'll work for my actual candy thermometer, and then if I can get it up to 300 degrees, it'll solidify and hard up like it's supposed to.
You
But
you don't
it
get
tastes really
those
good.
old fashioned candy thermometers. You don't want to risk the chance of mercury.
I mean, that's the last thing I'm worried about. I just happen to have a digital one because that's like what Amazon sells. So yeah, no, hey man, I trust in the Lord. So that's the last thing I'm worried about. If I'm going to go, I think if I'm going to go, honestly, at this point, like if I'm going to go out, I don't think it's going to be because of mercury.
Mercury candy.
Yeah.
Mercury
Yeah,
candy
like,
poisoning.
I don't think that's what's going to take me out at this point. I think it's going to take a little bit more than that at this point to take me out.
Oh, I also got this, and it's actually working miracles. Or not miracles, but it's making my seating arrangement a little bit better. It's just a big old, like, fucking stool thing you sit on and shit.
Nice. We'll have to show that off so everybody sees your new stool and see what you're going to rain down upon them.
Well, no, it's just a nice thing to kind of like sit on the side and lean on, like more.
Oh, it's like your armrest. It's
Yeah.
your armrest. Oh, okay.
Because I'm getting fatter, so it's better on my bones.
Oh, it's so funny. Today's day 16. No booze, and it's funny too because like just within a few days, I'm like, oh, I already fit back into my large shirts, and I don't feel fat in my large shirts now because I'm not all swollen from the fucking alcohol. Like and being fucking drunk like 4 times a week.
I can't do that right now. I've got too much
Oh, I don't
stuff.
blame you. No,
My
you've got all the
job has
work
been
you've been.
fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
I
Tell
worked
'em all about it.
12-hour shifts.
Yeah, tell them why you missed the Thursday show. Tell them why you missed the
Oh
Thursday
yeah,
show.
I had to go over work another 12-hour shift plus, well, kind of 12-hour plus. I can't actually remember the time because it all kind of starts to blend after a while.
Right.
I had to go over and tell Nerd, I'm like, someone fucked something up, and I have to work late. I'm sorry, I can't show up. I just can't. He's like, it's okay. And then I texted him, I think around like 7:30. Like, I just got off work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was 7:30 her time. It was like 9:30. We had like 45 minutes left in the movie. We were like 2.5 hours into the show. And she's like, I just got off work. I'm like, my God.
It's so fucking bad. And so
because that's like because you're on East Coast time for your work schedule. So that's like getting off at 10:30 p.m. at night for you.
Yeah.
For like somebody that if you were working on the East Coast, you'd be getting off at 10:30 p.m. at night.
I can't complain too much because again, it's like not having to go to an office is like
right. Work remote is still it's still a great, very, very nice to have.
But it's so freaking ridiculous. And even though I did it, guess what happened anyways?
They didn't use any of the stuff.
No, I still got fucking yelled at. And everyone has been going on breaks. Like, oh, I'm not feeling well. Oh, I gotta go to the thing with the hospital. Oh, I have to take the day off. I don't get days off. I show up. I'm always there. And still the team gets mad. The thing that would have freaked me out was when he went over and said, like, we're still talking about where you're going to be assigned after this project, me and Sandeep and oh, I shouldn't have said that. Me not that one. Me and his name actually
Charles.
Sandeep. That was another coworker. Me and Charles. Yeah, me and Charles.
She didn't even drop the wrong name.
I dropped the wrong name for the person I was actually bitching about. Like, hey, we were talking about us and upper management. We're talking about where you guys are going to be aligned and stuff and things. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? This is not what you do as a lead, or this is not what you do as a lead at all. And it was just, I made mistakes too, so I can't be like, my team fucked me. It's just like, ugh, just terrible, terrible.
Sounds like it was a group fuck up, is what it sounds like.
I fucked up in one regard. Well,
I just meant like a group, like everybody kind of screwed up at least a little bit.
We have to have certain things done at certain times, and everyone's been going last minute with everything. to where I'm usually
Ah,
screaming at them, please get your reports in. We need to make sure your reports are in at this time. And it's not great when your boss goes out because he's like, I have a hurt back. I'm going to the clinic now. And I'm like, okay. I don't know now if you guys actually go to the clinic or not. When you say you're
right? Because
going to the hospital.
it's not like I see you leave and come back now.
No, we're all remote here. So are you just lying to me about you having a back injury? Like, there's one thing my boss was asking me to, like, well, we'll have it done this way. Just let me know when things aren't working right. And I'm like, I can't. He basically said, don't fix it. Just tell me when the problem happens. I'm like, all right. What about this other thing that needs to get done? Don't worry about it. I'm like, I can't not worry about it. You literally made it my job to worry about this thing, and now you're telling me not to worry about it. I hate you. Those must be some really good drugs because I now feel like fighting with you. Ah, so that's
Yeah.
that's my life, and I get to do it again tomorrow. And so it's just like a kind of subpar day today, for reasons. Had some fun in the Rifts game, and then just like I went back to thinking about the unfun things or very uncomfortable stuff last time. And yeah, now I'm here, and now I get to go back and have my fucking boss yell at me again. Hi, sluts, says Shadow Warden.
Sluts. Especially with Shadow Warden 99. That's an absolute
That's that's just become my word. I don't even know why.
I mean, I guess sometimes if the shoe fits, I mean, I don't know.
No, it's just like that's what I call old people.
Oh, so that's just your thing now.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just kind of started to happen. Anyhow,
Well, these things do happen sometimes. These things do happen.
Can we get started?
Oh God, I guess. Hey, I love my new mouse. It works nice now. Especially now that I got the sensitivity turned down too, so that way it doesn't fly all over the place and freak out. Works much better now. I can almost scroll down and find a Doctor Who intro.
Ooh.
Almost. Except now I can't get it to click. Why isn't it clicking? Oh no! I'm gonna have to refresh. I'll be right back, Sunker.
No, he left. Hello, Daryl Dixon 122. Hello, Grim. Old people. She means anyone over 35. No, sir, I'm old, and I haven't reached 35 just yet.
I'm so old.
In the heart of the cosmos, where time and space collide, the Doctor and his TARDIS forever to glide. From the streets of London to the far edges of space, with Rose, Martha and Donna, through time they chase. Daleks and their fury, Cybermen, steel and cold, the mysteries of Bad Wolf, stories untold. To the planet of New Earth and the fires of Pompeii, through the shadows of the vast, and thereafter they find their way. Back when who was good, those were the days. Adventures through time, a wondrous haze. The Doctor and his companions, a tale so grand. In the show where the universe was at their command, Jesse, the common nerd with a vision so bright, guiding through the episodes into the night. The Maiden sunk her with insights to unveil, and Mr. Grant Gregory with lore to regain. Back when who was good, those were the days. Adventures through time, a wondrous haze. The Doctor and his companions, a tale so grand. In the Nebron, a Sakurax invasion, I'm the last Alex stand. With the doctor I pulled back, he hands undone. Back when who was good, those were the days. Adventures through time and wondrous haze. The doctor and his companions, a tale so grand. In the show, David Evans was at their command. From the battle of Canary Wharf to the end of time, where heroes and legends never.
So, all of time and space, everything that ever happened or ever will, where do you want to start?
Damn it, Robert. How's everybody doing tonight, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another wonderful edition of When Who Was Good. Yes, boys and girls, we are going through the final season of Doctor Who. This was the end of a 55-year-old show at this point, boys and girls. And you know what? I mean, you can't ask for a much better Doctor to end on than Capaldi. It's an absolute way to roll out the end of things. And then, of course, we're going to go back and enjoy classic Who, just restart the whole adventure and have a good old time. But boys and girls, we're going to suffer through what some consider one of the worst seasons of Doctor Who, or at least the beginning of the end. But needless to say, by God, boys and girls, we have seen the horrors of the future. We have avoided them. We have moved on beyond them, and we just don't consider them canon anymore. And because of that, this is the end. This is the end of New Who for us, boys and girls, because we've seen those visions of the future, and we don't want any part of them, and we won't have anything to do with them at all whatsoever, except for Mr. Grant Gregory shows up on the rare occasions that he shows up and decides to torture us with all of those kind of things, and then we have to slap him around and yell at him. But that's one of the reasons why we love him, and he likes the slap and the tickle, so it's okay. He appreciates it. That's why he comes back. But all of that, boys and girls, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into all of the fabulous folks that's going on out there. Always as a friendly reminder, if you're watching this over on YouTube, please join us on Rumble for the full watch along and review, because of all of that kind of fun stuff with the bots and all of that kind of stuff. It's just how things go over there on YouTube. The bots can't tell the difference between the fair use and what actual people, like some just fat guy sitting there and going, making him a sandwich and leaving something on for 45 minutes while he walks away and completely and totally abandons his chat and his show and everything else. But hey, that's a topic for a different video, boys and girls. So yeah, we've got tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Doctor Who season 10, episode 5. We've got Oxygen. Now, I don't remember this one off the top of my head very well, but I might remember it a little bit once we jump into it. Obviously, I have seen all of these. Sunker hasn't seen all of these yet, but it'll be a good time as well anyway. And so we'll get into all of that. We'll have a good time with that. We'll have to see how this episode goes. It'll be fun as always, boys and girls. We're still fundraising around here. We still got a little bit of an electric bill, and right now the internet bill is the big one. We've got we've got an internet bill,
or else there's no show.
Right, exactly. So it's one of them. It's one of them situations. So if we can pull off $300 a night, that would be fabulous. Because that'll get the internet bill taken care of, and then get Mrs. Mother-in-law $100 off of that internet bill that we had to pay last week. So which is why one of the shows was so late the other week as well. So yeah, we got to get all that taken care of as well. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. We had a wonderful time. Mrs. Common Nerd and I went and saw Superman last night. Had a great time with that. Went and checked out the 40X seats. So our review is up for that one. We filmed that last night in the van as soon as we got out of the movie theater. So you guys can go check that out as soon as all of this is over. But so yeah, I appreciate all of you guys and all that kind of fun stuff. Dancing babies, dancing sunkers, sunker making out with a lizard, sunker making out with an octopus. That one's expensive. Check out the menu prices if you want to ask about that one. That one is not cheap because it makes Sunker really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Really uncomfortable. Yeah. Like it disturbs her to no levels. Yeah. So yeah, those are all options. And also I can do dabs and carts, and I've got a hat so I can switch in all other kinds of odd and weird and strange things that we can do. And if you guys really want to see it, like I made some candy yesterday, but because I didn't get it to a hot enough temperature, it's still gooey. So I stuck it in the freezer. So if you guys want to see me eat like an 80 milligram cannabis what's supposed to be a hard candy, those end up melting in my mouth. That's always something we can do for like donations and stuff too, because that'll be fun.
Just add, make them into gummies if you can't make them into hard candy.
Well, no, the problem is you have to use gel. The recipe is completely different for hard candy and gummies. The recipes are
Oh, all
completely and
right.
totally different. Yeah, no, because we make gummies too. This was my first time experimenting with hard candy. I just didn't get it. I didn't get it at high enough temperature. So I'm gonna freeze everything, throw it back in the pot, and when I'm gonna see if I can find the batteries for my thermometer and try to change that out, and then kick it up to 300 degrees and try to do it all over again. But they're still frozen right now. I can eat one, and it'll all still have the exact same effect. You're not gonna be able to sit here and watch me lick it, you sick twisted. Anyway, but speaking of sick and twisted,
You gotta
Sunker
wait to pay
Maiden.
for that.
That's right. There's different ways to pay for that kind of thing. But speaking of different ways to pay for things, Sunker Maiden, how the hell are you, my dear?
Hello, I'm doing okay. You already heard me bitch behind the scenes before we played the intro. So yeah, very kind of off right now, but hopefully once we get started, I'll get back to my usual annoying self. Um, yeah, yep, yep. Looking forward, I'm hoping Oxygen is as good as the last episode we went through, because that is kind of like the last episode. It should be a baseline of how you should approach who. Um, because whenever it had David's had a really great villain, had a very interesting premise, had the Doctor not be fucking impudent, and he was weird in the right way, where it's just like socially awkward, but in an acceptable way that doesn't go over and make you fucking hate him.
Yeah, yeah. Last episode was really good. It was a fun, just kind of haunted house kind of story, which is great with a Doctor Who twist on it, and you even had some of like the mythology aspects to it, and like some kind of fantasy kind of where you almost like, because you've got like, well, they kind of think they're kind of fairies, is what they kind of think at first, and it turns out to be something. It turns out to be a space bug because, well, it's Doctor Who, and that's how things always end up going. This isn't Torchwood. We don't actually have fairies stealing children. But it's like, that's kind of the thing. It's like, it is. And you're right. That should be like every episode should be at least that quality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because it was a very basic story. It wasn't anything crazy, but there was a lot of great actors in it. A lot of the people did a great job in their roles. There was a bunch of great mystery. The twist at the end, I don't think anybody could see coming.
Yeah.
Which is always really nice.
I do also like if there's a one change I would pace it out a little bit better, where you would have like, you gave him bugs as a gift, and just like, well, that's odd, but he seems like an odd dude. And then I wish there was a little bit more of a period in between that first part and then the revelation that, like, oh wait, no, it's not her dad, it's her son that's stayed with her this whole time.
Yes. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that was one of the things too. I think we both talked about that a little bit at the last week. Is if they would have fleshed that out a little bit better, I think it would have I think it would have made the twist a little more impactful. More as I kind of felt a little bit like a rug pull, but it wasn't. Like, it wasn't intended to be. It was just there wasn't quite enough. Like any mystery, any well done mystery, you should be able to look back and see some clues, right? And maybe you didn't recognize the clues at the time because hindsight's 2020 and all that kind of stuff. But there should have been a couple of things. And I don't think there was enough. There might have been a couple of things if we went back and like looked for them, but I don't think there wasn't anything where you went back and went, oh, and I think that's when that's what makes Sherlock Holmes stories good, yes. Right? Because when you go back and look at it and you look at through Holmes's perspective, when you look at Sherlock's perspective, then you're like, oh, that all makes sense. I get how you figured that out. Whereas this one, you're like, there wasn't quite some of those kind of clues.
Like, I think to pull from the Sherlock angle, there's actually one of my more favorite episodes is from old BBC was when they found a debutante or a lord's lady tied up to a chair, and she looked like she was beaten up. And then her husband, his head was bashed in by the mantle cells. Oh my God. And there's a very interesting observation Holmes makes when he's talking to the lady. Is like, madam, you're injured. Beyond that, if just you're when you got hit in the head, you have other injuries on your arm. She's like, don't worry about that. It has nothing to do with this. It's like, oh shit. And then like that unravels into something else you weren't expecting. But there's a lot of they drop a lot of clues of what was going on in that situation.
Nice. And yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Aspects like that make for a good mystery. And you want to have those like subtle little things, the clues that are misleading, the ones that are like the subtle things that nobody wants to talk about that all end up making sense at the end. And I think for the twist that you got, I still think the twist was good.
Yes.
It's just there wasn't enough setup for the twist. There could have been a few more things somewhere along the lines. I don't know, maybe found a toy in the room, or something like that to show that there was more of a children's aspect to things. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And I just noticed like, oh wow, that actually does feel like a doll scenario almost, if you think about it, because the mom is now made out of wood. She's almost a doll now. She's almost not a person. But anyways, I think it's just because my standards are just so much lower because of the previous episodes. I just love the hell out of last episode so much. I'm like, you didn't try to fuck with me. That's all I needed. It's okay. It's okay that you made this one little misstep. It's okay.
Yeah, it's like the beatings finally stopped. Yeah, and I get a hug instead. Yay! Hugs are so much better than beatings.
I actually got some food today instead of just the gruel.
Right. No. They accidentally spilled some sugar in the gruel today. Yay! This is sweet gruel. It's so much better than regular gruel. Yeah. But it wasn't anywhere near that bad.
No.
We're being a little facetious here. We're a little dramatic. Yeah. But yeah, it wasn't anywhere near as bad as that. It was a solid episode. It really was. And I think that's the thing about this season. I think there's some really rough episodes, and I think that's what gives everybody such a neck. Because if you finish a season going that sucked, you're not going to generally go back and watch it again unless there's a particular episode that just really stood out to you for some reason, right? Mm-hmm. And when you just have kind of average or good episodes, there's not really a lot of reason to go back. And since all you remember is the really bad episodes, I think this season, because of that, gets a bit more crap than maybe what it deserves. But that's only because there wasn't anything that was so incredibly good to outweigh how much garbage we actually got. Yeah. And that's always part of the problem. And that's why it's the last season of Doctor Who. Because that's just how things go sometimes.
Because I do know some of the characters that do show up in this season. I think that's why I am looking forward to when they show up, because it has one of my more favorite scenes between Capaldi and that other character. Just like, oh shit, shit. And I can't wait to see the lead up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. It's one of those situations where I know a lot of people are like, yeah, you can quit at the 50th anniversary. You can quit here. You can quit there. I solidly believe that you need to run this season all the way through, just because Capaldi has some of the most epic scenes, speeches, conclusions, just like some of the most powerful moments in this season, outside of like the last season when he had the whole episode. It was just him and it was the castle and the monster and everything else.
Oh, that's
one hell of a bird.
It's fucking amazing. That episode is just, and that episode is absolutely a perfect episode, Chef's Kiss episode, because it all makes sense. It's done so well and tight. Everything's done perfectly, and you almost think it's escape room, but it's not escape room. It's actually the Doctor leaving clues for himself to like, okay, you have to kind of figure this out. I'm on the repeat. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah. And it's done really, really well. And you have some scenes that are very similar to stuff like that. And the power, not necessarily like in that same vein, but like the power and the emotion and the just Capaldi being just the incredible Doctor that he can be when they allow him to be and when they give him the right material. It's like, I remember it was funny. I never really got into NASCAR or anything like that, but I had some friends of mine that were into it. And I just want to go hang out with my friends on a Sunday and, eat barbecue and, hang out. So I'd sit there and go watch the race. And it was funny because one of the comments one of the guys made one time, I was listening to some NASCAR guys talk about it. I think they were talking about like Dale Earnhardt Jr. or something like that. And they were like, when the kid has good equipment under him, he's one of the best racers out there. The problem is he never can get good equipment, and it's the same thing with Capaldi, right? He's as far as I'm concerned, he's probably arguably, when he's on point, he's probably the best Doctor of the new season, right? So the problem is he gets given so much crap that you have to find those moments where you're like, holy crap, he is so good. And you get that towards the end, which is why I believe you should finish this season, because you do get a lot of that towards the end of the season.
And point to this season, as much as I want to go over and fight and argue and yell at certain things they do with plot, they aren't bastardizing the Doctor, not to the kind of degree that we saw when he was with Clara, because they wanted to have Clara be in the more mature role compared to him. Um, he's now actually taking charge. He's actually coming up with stuff. He's not getting deballed all the fucking time. So it's very interesting. I like that they're not fucking treating him like a fucking child anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's one of the nice parts about switching from Clara to Bill for all of the things that everybody doesn't like about Bill, because she's kind of, and it's just she's just plain. There's nothing to her. There's nothing like super interesting about her. And the writers just want to wrap everything up in her identity. You know what I mean? And it's like that's just stupid. Whether it's who she sleeps with or what color she is, it's just like that's literally all they kind of use her for. But the one advantage though is with the switch is now you have that student teacher role now, to whereas Clara was kind of the teacher and trying to bring his humanity back, and it came off as really patronizing. Whereas now he's kind of back to he's now in charge. He's now the teacher. He's now the one guiding the student, and that's so for all the things you can hate about Bill or not like about Bill, you at least now get the Doctor back in his proper position in the role that he should be playing in the show.
I almost think like Belle, I don't know how old the actress is. I think the role would have actually felt better if she was much younger. If she was like an 18.
Yeah.
And it would have felt more like a teaching role versus this weird pseudo. Like, the reason why I get so caught up in her looks is that she's looking like she's from the 70s. If you wanted to have a character that dressed up like that and have it not be so awkward, just fucking have him go teach in the 70s and find a 70s chick.
And that's one of the things too, which is kind of wild because, and I don't know, when we go through old Who, we'll
60s,
see it
sorry.
more. Yeah, 60s, any of that. I mean, 60s, you can do 70s too, any of that kind of stuff, because all of that stuff was still huge back. I mean, that was when like Motown, and the 70s is like when Motown was like, you know what I mean? So it's like, so no, the 70s would be a perfect era for that kind of thing. But the other thing about it, Susan, I don't know how much in old Who they ever did this as far as picking up companions from other time periods and stuff like that. I know we had other planets and some stuff like that. And then, of course, we had our caveman chick or whatever.
Leela.
Yeah, Leela. That's what I thought. Leela, yeah. So we had Leela and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, that would have been a great way to do it if you want to pull somebody in like that. They're just, with the writers nowadays, they're so stuck in writing in the modern era. And it's probably because it's what they know, and they're lazy, and they don't want to have to go study other eras and learn about other eras in order to actually make themselves better writers. And that part sucks too.
Like, here's the thing, you don't even have to go like study too hard. Just find someone who's interesting and fucking steal from them. Have a better friend base. Still, like, be around more interesting people, and you'll be able to write more interesting shit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's always one of the things too, right? Because you, as a writer, you can only write what you know, right? And that's always one of the biggest problems with a lot of the writers nowadays. The people that get hired as writers is what we should really refer to them as. Not necessarily actual writers, because I know actual writers, and those guys are great. And so it's one of them situations where it's like, I think that's one of the things that, because these people aren't well experienced, because these people aren't well traveled, and I don't, there's a line from Orange County, and I don't know if it's actually ever true or not, but there was a writer he was always referring to, and it was like, basically this guy's like, if he ever actually left Ireland, if he would have left Ireland and not had the experiences he had in Ireland, would he have been able to write what he wrote? You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things. It's like, these people don't have a lot of world experience. They grew up in California. They grew up in these big cities. They've never experienced anything besides, essentially the liberal culture. You know what I mean? And all of the stuff that it entails. So it's so hard for them to see outside of their own box. So hard for them to empathize with anything outside of themselves.
Yes.
And I think that's why you end up getting a lot of the very failed writing, because they don't have world experience. They've literally lived and been born and raised in a bubble their entire life, and they've never moved outside of that.
And they it's just the also not even just the lack of experience of things outside of your culture, the lack of introspection to the point where they can't even accept, like, maybe I came to the wrong conclusion. That is something they can't even fucking deal with.
No, and that's absolutely true too. And that's one of the biggest problems with when you have a world that tells everybody's special, then you build a world of narcissists.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you do. You build a world of narcissists when you tell everybody special and you can be anything you want. I'm sorry, that's not true. Some people are dumb. All right? And it's okay to be dumb.
I mean, look
Like,
here.
exactly. Look at us. We're freaking morons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's okay to be dumb. There's nothing wrong with that, right? The world would not survive without janitors. Okay? Like it would not. You know, we talked about this earlier in my Bible study because there was something that came up about like it was like, basically like, it was like, the way people treat like, people that they think aren't their equals and stuff like that. It's like, how do you treat the lowliest among you? You respect those people, you treat them right and stuff. And fools are the arrogant ones that take all that stuff for granted. Because it's like literally, you imagine if all the janitors went on strike tomorrow in a week, what would this world look like? You know what I mean? I mean, like, just think about what it would look like in a week if all of the janitors decided to disappear tomorrow. You know what I mean? And so it's one of them situations where it's like, you have to understand your own limitations. You have to understand your own abilities. And if you're not willing to be introspective, if everybody believes they're special, if everybody believes they're the bestest thing ever, then no one's ever going to be able to take that. No one's ever going to be able to take any criticism because everybody's told me I'm the bestest thing ever. I shouldn't be criticized. Why am I being criticized? I've been raised my entire life that I'm the bestest thing ever. So it's like, what do you expect? What else do you expect out of this generation that you've raised like that?
That's why I'm overtly critical with myself, so I never go over and fall down that hole, even though I do like to fight like a dog with a bone.
I absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I personally myself I have some very narcissistic tendencies. And that's why I try to keep myself in check and humble as well. There was a proverb that we went over today. And it was literally, I was like, this is me to it. This is what
humble,
I try to do every day. Humble myself every day, constantly, nonstop. Because I know if I let my narcissism, if I let my ego get out of hand, I will literally blow the roof off my garage. You know what I mean? So it's like, so that's how it's. Oh, it was essentially the proverb was essentially don't boast about yourself. You know what I mean? If other people are going to say good things, let other people say good things about you. Don't boast about yourself. Is essentially what the proverb boiled down to. And so it's just like, that's why I say all the time in my video, I'm an idiot. I don't come out here telling you I'm an expert in anything. I'm the common nerd. I know a little bit about a lot, and occasionally I'm pretty good at one thing. And sometimes I'll know something about something you thought you were an expert on that maybe you didn't know. I mean, that's kind of my claim to fame, but that's really all I am. That's why I love having the chat around. That's why I have guests and co-hosts, and we have Mr. Gregory around.
Oh, I'm Gregory. Defeat the emus and come back, please.
Right.
Please.
We miss you. We miss Mr. Grant Gregory. Go subscribe to Mr. Grant Gregory AI on YouTube and Rumble and everywhere else.
Give him lots
go check out his stuff because YouTube is always screwing with Grant, dude. Like some of us have gotten screwed with hard with Grant, but it just seems like somebody's got an axe to grind at YouTube with Mr. Grant Gregory for some reason.
No one knows.
Idea why, dude.
I feel really bad for it.
They are all like that guy had like 125,000 subscribers, and they would not monetize his. It was so messed up, dude. It was so.
Oh, you're an Aussie. We're not letting you in. What about those other Aussies?
It was so messed. It's been so messed up. But we love Grant. It's always a pleasure whenever he can join. We certainly appreciate the value of his time and his knowledge whenever he does come. So we love our Mr. Grant Gregory, and he shows up when he can, and we certainly appreciate his time when he can. But yeah. I guess we should. I guess we should probably say hi to the chat and maybe get into the new episode of Doctor Who or something like that. Yeah.
You know what? I think that was just enough. We can go over and close it out here.
All right. We're just bye guys.
I got a cool little footstool.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
sure. Really cute. And I got a little footstool thing. I was originally planning to just sit on it, but actually this helps out with my gaming streams because normally my gaming streams is a little bit like this because my desk is over here. So now I can just rest over here and do all my beepy boopy clicky stuff and not have the clicker right next to the mic. So it's really cool and I like it. And also I can just lean on it like this, like I'm at a bar or something.
Lean. She can lean with it, rock with it. She can lean with it, rock with it.
And then I can just fall asleep on it later. But
there you go.
We're going over and doing hellos.
That works. That works out nicely. Yes. And obviously I had to refresh, so I lost a lot of you guys out there in the chat and stuff like that. But I'll just go ahead and start on the top. I'll go ahead and start at the top with all of that kind of fun stuff. Well, it wasn't, it was just because, I lost all that kind of stuff. So there we go. But this eccentric coming in first with a B in the chat. Thank you, this eccentric. Good to see you, buddy. And if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like and follow button, boys and girls. Smash that like button. All that stuff really does help out with the algorithm. Madhouse for just a sup sluts. And thank you, Madhouse, for dropping the Common Nerd merch. Please drop that as well. Thank you very much. Go if you guys want something besides just giving direct donations and embarrassing sunker with horrifying videos or seeing really cute pictures of my babies dancing around being crazy or evil or malicious. By all means, you can do that as well. Those are always options. But if you want like a t-shirt or something, Madhouse did a great job working on a whole bunch of different lovely little designs and stuff like that. Madhouse, we need to get together. There's a bunch of proverbs I want to turn into a t-shirt line. We need to get together and work on some stuff. Appreciate that. So you can check that out, Madhouse. Shadow Warden 99, another one of our fine channel subscribers over there on Rumble, but you can also become a channel subscriber for $5 or less a month, depending on what platform you are on, boys and girls. Literally less than a price of soda at a candy bar a month, and you can help keep Common Nerds lights on around here indefinitely. So please consider that. I appreciate that very much. This is yet the boomers bitched at me for calling off work because what I'm enduring would make me being there very unproductive. I believe it. Shadow Word 99. Yep. Grim, aka Ann back, another one of our fine channel subscribers over there on Rumble, says old people. She means anyone over 35. It's true.
No, I mean, I'm old and I'm not 35 yet.
Oh, you young whippersnappers, get off my lawn. Oh, there you go. That is great. Your average Patriot nerd says, hail, chat. There you go. Hail, Common Nerd Sunker. No one was at YouTube. Felt lonely. Oh, it happens. Your average Patriot nerd. Yeah, my YouTube algorithm, I think, is actually surprisingly enough getting bogged down by that new review that we put out this afternoon, because I've actually been getting comments, and normally Sunday videos don't do very well. So I'm glad to see that one's actually doing well. So that'll make Mrs. Common Nerd happy too, because that's her very first movie review. She's never done one before. So that was her first one with me last night. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. So we put that out today. So yeah, that was awesome. There we go. Salty old fart. What's up, buddy? Glad you made it in.
Hello, Woodster.
That is Salty old fart. Glad you made it in, buddy. Says, hey, good morning, Common Nerd and friends. Good morning, Salty old fart. Glad you made it in, buddy. Glad you made it in. Hashtag still feel swole. There you go, Shadow Ward 99. There you go.
It's his fucking character. He got a warrior spark, and his character Kexen got a warrior spark, and he went from like being 5'11" to now like 10'11", and he has like a strength of like 24.
Oh, that is
it's true. Fucking bullshit.
Oh, he really does feel swole. Hey, what's up, Daryl Dixon? Says this is tough in America. Oh, everything's tough in America. No, things aren't too bad. Things are going pretty good around here. We're good to see you, Daryl Dixon, over on Twitch. Good to see you, buddy. Always good to see a few folks over there. Oh, there we go. There's Salty Old Fart. Now I can highlight him. There he is. Now I'm back to the highlighting, folks. There we go. Grim says those eyes are darker than the coffee in the teapots, soon to be kettle and nettled. Kettle and nettled. What? Oh, my God. Thank you, Madhouse. Appreciate that, buddy. And laugh, you fools. I see you over on Kick as well. Admit one screw up, multiplied by 3 things nobody is communicating about. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Says, I don't remember. Salty Old Fart says, I don't remember much Doctor Who. Spent a bunch of time trying to figure out who I was with weed. Lots of weed. Dude, I am not going to lie to you. So, funny story. Part of the reason why I became chief steward of my union when I was working out at the base as an aircraft mechanic is because this motherfucker, our old chief steward, he liked Doctor Who. Well, he liked to get high while he watched Doctor Who. We literally had like 2 weeks to go take this piss test because the transition from one company to the next was such a screw up and was such a mess and happened so fast. We literally had 2 weeks before we had to go take this piss test. This motherfucker, no rules established. There was nothing we had no rules established by the new company. There was nothing you could get fired for outside of this. That dumbass failed a piss test. We had weeks before that thing actually, that we knew this was happening. That we knew this was
nothing.
And what? No, it wasn't. It was just a straight old piss test. All you had to do was go down to the LabCorp peel and cup. I was just like, man. So yeah. So hey, well, there you go, Salty Old Fart. That's okay. You can remember some of it with us now. You don't know how high you are. It's still
actually you probably worked with Salty Old Fart.
No. The guy I worked with was younger than I was. So yeah, Madhouse says I did 600 milligram and gummy the other day. It was half of a 12. So I think I did a quarter. Like the first time I hadn't smoked or done anything in years. And the first time I did something was like probably a quarter of a 1200 milligram gummy. And oh my God, I was so high. It was terrifying to even try to cook dinner. So yeah, you got to be careful with edibles, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You got to be careful. You got to start slow, wait a couple hours. Don't eat more. Yeah. There you go. What shape was it in for them to have that thought process? There you go. What about sweetened oatmeal? I don't know. What about sweetened oatmeal?
I think that was when we were talking about gruel.
Yeah, I know. The doctor was already in his 70s. What are you doing? For who? No, you're not. I have almost none left in there, and none of you guys got dishes done before you left, so I can't even fill up my jugs. So no, you're not. Oh, the doctor was already in the 70s. He'd be crossing paths with his third incarnation. This is true. That could be a part of it. But good to see you, Spartacus. Good to see you, my friend. Glad you made it in as well. Peter Beckman Fansite. What's going on, Fansite? Good to see you, sister. Says Retro was in for a while, but they probably just didn't have the writing to pull it off for her. That's a good possibility. That's true. Considering the era this came out in, that's a good possibility.
Well, that actually, Peter Beckman, that's actually that's a very good point. When you go in and talk to people or interact with people who are going over and going for the retro look, they have such distinct personalities. They're so fucking fun. They can be pretentious as fuck sometimes, but they're usually passionate about what they're getting into and what they're trying to exude. That's something Bill doesn't have, and that's why I say, like, why she's a billboard. She's a billboard. She doesn't really exude the personality you would have to want to have this kind of hair and want to have the bow and want to have the piece earrings and the type of outfit she has on. She doesn't have that regular. The persona doesn't match. So if she was dressed more plain, it would actually make more sense for the personality we're seeing.
No, and that actually, I didn't think about that either. But yeah, I mean, Fansite's absolutely right on that one, because I have known people that were into that kind of retro look. And you're 100% right. They embody it, right? They embody it. Like, it's one thing if you're just wearing bell bottoms or something like that, but to go with like the hairstyle and everything else. And yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's a really good point. Bill looks the part. She doesn't act the part. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Absolutely. Yes. Sunker always says steal from her friends. Absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Well, that's absolutely. There's always the adage with writing is like bad writers borrow, good writers steal.
Yes,
so you steal from other people. You take the idea, you recrystallize it to be your own, and you make it yours. That's really good stealing.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have much more.
I feel like that should be flipped. Like, good writers borrow, bad writers steal. Because a bad writer would just stealing would imply you're literally just ripping off somebody else's stuff and slapping your own label on it. Borrowing would mean I'm taking influences from things and creating my own thing with it.
For writing, it's actually the opposite, because borrowing is like, I'm taking Aliens and I'm putting it on a sub. It's Aliens, it's the same xenomorphs and everything. I'm borrowing Aliens, and now I'm putting in a sub. That's borrowing. Stealing is, I'm going to take the concept of Aliens and I'm going to start, like ripping different parts apart, and I'm going to add this and that. Now it's mine. It's not Aliens anymore. It's mine.
All right. There you go. Exactly, Grim. Exactly. Absolutely. Man, can I be exactly. Fansite says the guy who wrote Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually studied and went to Egypt and just took it off from there. See, there you go. That's how you do it. Rest in peace, Suzuki Takashi. And it's the other thing too. It's like that. And like when we were hearing the stories from like when all the D&D stuff went down and they were bashing the original creators in that new anniversary edition book.
So fucking bad.
Right. But that was one of the cool things you learned by learning about that and going, I learned by going over that news story and talking about it, making a video over it. That was one of the cool things I learned is those guys were in the library like every weekend, like every chance they got, studying these mythologies, studying these different deities, studying these different religions. So that way they could understand them and do them properly and do them respectfully. They actually were knowledgeable. They weren't just ripping the names off of things and slapping it onto whatever. They actually understood the characters and the creations that they were bringing into that world.
And you know what fucking burns their asses? The modern day writers. What burns their asses is those guys did it for fun. They did all of this research. They read books. They got into all of it. They went into the nitty gritty of it for fun because they wanted to do it. These fuckers don't actually want to do it, but they're doing it anyways because of X, Y, and Z reasons. They're not doing it because they actually have a love of the game.
Yep, absolutely. Nice. Castle functions population. I believe that. Yeah, they're not as big as they're not as big as what the movies make them think to be. The Philly Trashmen were on strike, and the trash collection bins were filled in not even a week. Exactly, Shadow Ward 99. Respect your janitors.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, dog, let's play. What's up, buddy? He says, what's up? I got my Batman pajamas today. Nice.
What?
Nice. That's awesome. So you can actually see it a little bit better in the video, and I didn't actually get a really good selfie with us to where we can see the shirts. I need to, Mrs. Common Nerd and I'll have to get together and take another picture for that. But if you watched the video yesterday, I got my Nightwing t-shirt in yesterday, and she got her Starfire t-shirt in, and it's actually it's Silver Age Starfire.
Oh,
okay. So yeah, it's the really nice outfit from back in that era. Because it was either that or Teen Titans Go, and I think my wife might be the only one on the planet that hates Teen Titans Go more than me. So yeah. And I knew she would have never worn that in a heartbeat, and I would have never bought that in a heartbeat either. But yeah, so I had the classic Nightwing logo, and then she had a really cool Silver Age Starfire t-shirt that we went and saw the movie in yesterday. So yeah, those are really neat. So I'm glad you got your Batman pajamas in, dude. So yeah, we got some cool retro DC stuff in yesterday, and I loved it. Blue and gray. Oh yeah, there you go. Oh, that's perfect then. Yeah, that's classic. Absolutely, I love it. Exactly, fan site. No lies there. There you go. We're good to see you. I'll have to grab Sigs. If Kaio shows up, launch the Swakanin. I don't even know the Swak cannon. What's a Swak
cannon? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Grim Grim's going to come back though. I don't think I can't remember if Grim Grim's black or not, but he's off to go grab cigarettes, and we never really know how that ends in every story.
He is black, you idiot!
I always forget
that. You can.
Oh, he won't be back then. He won't be back then.
My shit. He's on camera.
He won't be back then. He won't be back. That's because I don't know. The only thing I ever see you go live for is like playing video games and stuff. I don't ever see you go live or anything else. But no, that's just funny as all get out. So yeah, he definitely won't be. He's black and going out for a bag of cigarettes. He won't be back. The best part is he's not here, so he's not even gonna be able to hear me say that. That's even the best.
He probably is listening remote.
He probably is. He probably is. Wow, finally get to the chat. You know what? Your average Patriot nerd. You know what? We'll get there. Looks like a giant tribble.
It is kind of. I have to make sure it doesn't get around to any of the other tribbles.
There you go. Absolutely, Joe. Let's play Superman and Jesus Christ, your inspirational figures. Amen to that, buddy. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, ultimate sacrifice. Ultimate sacrifice. Hope you guys like the little project I'm working on for you guys. I'm sure we will, Spartacus. I'm sure we will.
He has not told me what it is, so now I'm just very worried.
Like Evan said, yeah, blazed for days. Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. Does she not know about the Tyranids? No, she does not know about Tyranids. So I don't think Sunker knows anything about the Tyranids.
I think that went over my head.
Fans, it's like, did I do a racism?
Yes. Well, it's an unintentional. Like, I actually think
I don't apologize for it. I actually do remember the fact that he was black. That's kind of what I was just going to play it off like I wasn't sure.
Asshole.
I know. Yeah, so come at me in the comments section down below. Yes, and back. And he went out for cigarettes. He's not coming back. He's not coming back. We're starting to freezing women who play Warhammer 40k edition. Either Tyranids, Works, Death Guard, Demon, or Dakari. Not one chooses loyalist humans. One chooses Gene Stealer cults. Well, I know of one girl that plays Warhammer 40k, and she likes Sisters of Battle. So that's the only one but that's the only female, and that's a YouTube female, so it doesn't really count. But yeah. By the way, I spoke to Sunker about this. I'm shooting you this idea, Jesse. Oh dear God.
What?
I have no idea.
Spartacus?
I don't know. He says he talked to you about it, so God only knows.
Oh yeah. Go over and shoot that to him. He'll probably say yes.
Oh God. Oh God.
It's nothing big, bish. Okay, we're going to give you a teaser now, but if you haven't already and you want to go over and do the review, you will have to go over and jump on to Rumble, Kick, or Pilled.
No Pilled tonight. But yeah, Rumble or Kick tonight. But yeah.
Dead Punk Gage, Tug's social media manager. Hello.
Hey, what's up, Dead Punk Gage? He'll jump us over there. Yeah, Tug's social media. Good to see you, buddy. It's fine as long as he's okay with it. Oh, I'm not sure how I feel about that. How much that doesn't matter to us. We all forget about it and don't even think about it. There you go. There you go, fan site. There you go.
That's true.
All right, so general trivia. Assistant director Lauren Pate plays the student who questions the doctor in the opening scenes. Oh, there you go.
Well, we're going to learn if Lauren's a bitch or not.
Or if she can at least play one.
Space, the final frontier.
Wow. Writers can't come up with anything. They're literally just ripping off Star Trek at this point, which I'm sure is very intentional, obviously. Dude, I watched Robert Meyer Burnett go off the other day. R&B is a guy that works in Hollywood, has been for a long time. He's a huge Star Trek fan. Sorry. Yeah, Robert Met, he's worked in Hollywood for a long time. He's hung out with the Fellowship. He's hung out with Gary. He's been to some of the meetups and stuff like that. Good dude. Loves Hollywood a little bit more than we do. Doesn't have quite the disdain that we do for Hollywood does. Mm-hmm. But I watched him straight up go off on, because he's been watching, reviewing Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Strange New Worlds. He's been watching that one and reviewing that one. He straight up went off. He was like, these writers are a bunch of hacks. They have no new ideas whatsoever. They're literally just ripping off the original series, except doing a really bad job of it. He's like, I'm done. I'm not reviewing this show anymore. I'm just done. And I was like, whoa, Robert lost it. Yay! Welcome to the table, buddy. Now you feel how the rest of us do. Woo!
It took you a while. We were saving your seat. What's up?
He was just, he wants it to be good. I don't blame him. I understand that. I empathize that. He's trying to hold out. He's trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. He's trying to be graceful about all of it. And it's like, at some point, brother, you just got to dust your sandals off and move on. And he's officially gotten to that point. They've officially broken.
That's actually always the really, really sad thing, is because when you believe in something, you want it to be successful, but then you see so many things that go over and point to the alternative. Like, it's, you know what, you can hope all you want, and you can give as much money as you want, and you can pray all you want, but let's face it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to change its ways.
I love that fan site. That's good.
Strange Nude Woke. Like, you already knew it was going to be bad when with STD, where they're like, we need to have a Klingon rape scene. It's like, whoa, bro, whoa. No. How many people did this have to go through before it still got okayed by all of them? No.
Yeah. And no, that's a good point, fan side. It actually comes in handy, those online debates when people call you names and everyone else is laughing at them because they're clueless. Yeah. Yep. That's the way it goes. But no, I know they're not like actually turned about. It's obviously an homage, but it's just, I thought that was funny. And I just couldn't resist going, they suck. And Smarter Chris, you already told me about that. You already told me about that idea. But yeah, we can probably do that.
A little bit, because her hair reminds me so much of River's. And I'm like, River? No, she's gone. She's gone. No, that's not River.
It's all over now. But yeah, it's one of them situations where, yeah, I get where you're coming from with that one too. But I like this intro so far. This is pretty good. I like the music, the like the way. I mean, I always love it when Capaldi's
just talking,
monologuing. Yeah, monologuing. Yeah, like I could literally take an entire season of Capaldi just going around by himself monologuing. Like, I'd be okay with that.
Did he do some work as in play? Like, he must have done all the fucking thing all actors do. It was like, you have to play Shakespeare. So he must be able to go over and rattle off a whole bunch of stupid Shakespeare and all that other stuff from plays and stuff like that.
Well, and I think the other thing about it too is a lot of the English actors are like that in general. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of those guys are like, most of them that come up, they all like, they went to traditional, they came up through theater, right? Whereas in the United States, that's not generally the rule of thumb. Whereas over there, it's kind of more the rule of thumb. They come up through theater. Whereas here, you know, they just pick, you know, they casting call, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. And so, yeah.
One sort of a thing where you have that happening actually in American stuff is Lee Von Cleef, where he didn't go through theater. He was actually a fucking soldier, and he's like, I'll try this theater stuff, and then he got into the good and the bad and the ugly. He played the bad.
Matt, I was completely and totally being facetious. I hope you caught on to that, buddy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Matt T. Yes, there you go. Exactly. Classically chained. I mean trained. Yeah. You don't watch enough. So I cannot
No,
remember
I
his name
remember
now.
that one. I was
Oh,
still
you didn't remember
watching
that
all
one?
that
Okay.
time.
Classic,
Before
yeah,
it's
that
like
was
I
cool.
turned into a soulless husk, and I'm like, I can't watch this right now. I got other shit to do, and I'm feeling sorry for myself. I can't watch it.
Yeah, exactly. You're a Richard nerd. Exactly.
Yeah. So no.
Exactly.
Not only that, they had a Klingon female attacking a human male, and I believe he was also gay. So it was like it was
Let's
like
just
10
check all
times
the
all the
boxes.
boxes. And
That is
I don't think they
good.
gave a PG-13 warning or anything. So if you're watching Star Trek with your kid and then that scene happens and they show off a lot of suggestive material, it's just like, why? Why this doesn't need to no. It was already rough
Um,
when Picard was taken prisoner and being like tortured and everything. How many lights are there, Picard? There are 4 lights.
Yep, that is true. Spartacus over on the Streamlabs side for 50 says hats, lovely hats. What a wonderful hat to cover one's head. Thank you, Spartacus.
You are right with Cleef. Lee Von Cleef was from Escape from New York. Put on your put on your fezzes. Spam it in chat. He was in Escape from New York. He was also in a lot of the spaghetti western stuff. I did mention The Good and Bad, the Ugly, but I also believe he was a protagonist in For a Few Dollars More. He was in other westerns, one which wasn't as good, but he was playing more of a comedic role. And the funniest thing, if you look him up, you're like, oh, he has to have some like you're like you look at him, you're like, he's got to have some like Hispanic or Spanish genes, all that stuff. He's a pure Dutchman. He's pure Dutch. He's just really good at looking the part.
That is the way it goes sometimes. And that's one of the things. You don't judge a book by its cover. You never know where they come from.
Mhm.
You never know where they come from.
The suits, the ships, the little bubbles of safety as they protect us from the void.
Oh no, not the void.
God,
Not
there's I'm just thinking of physics and stuff. I think you would just be vomiting at this point.
Depends on how fast you were spinning, but yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I get you go. Wow, I never really cared enough to even watch a season of Star Trek. I'll tell you what, the classic stuff's good, man. All the way up until Voyager, I'd say is pretty good.
There's actually there's some parts of Voyager that's actually pretty good. It's Voyager.
Oh, I enjoyed Voyager.
Voyager is when they started running out of ideas. Chakotay's stuff always sucks. They didn't know how to write Janeway to the point where she just basically became a cardboard cutout. And 7 and 9 was good until they over relied on her. The Doctor is always good. And I didn't really get onto the Paris tourist train until the episode there they got together. And I'm like, ah, fuck. This is actually really sweet. Shit.
I loved those two together. I absolutely loved them. I knew that was going to happen from the beginning. They had that planned out because those two were just always at each other's throat. It reminds, if you've ever watched NCIS, it's very much like the relationship between Tony and Ziva. It's very, very similar to that if you've never watched NCIS. But like it's a very similar kind of thing. Like Ziva's an Israeli, she was Mossad, and now she's working for and he was basically like, he's just kind of like the jock. You know what I mean? And so she's like this badass special forces chick. Yeah. And
she was she was the replacement after they took out the first chick, I believe.
Maybe. It's been a while since I watched the early days. But yeah, it was funny. But yeah, same kind of relationships. That's the exact same kind of thing. So yeah, I always loved Tom and her together.
Like, and it was very sweet because when I was watching a reviewer going over is like, this is actually a perfect thing where all he can go over and do is like show her how much he loves her in this horrific situation they're in, and her actually just finally getting it. Her finally getting it and just being this extremely sweet thing, exactly what she needed.
Yep.
Which was like,
right when I was like, yeah. Yay!
I'm a huge sucker for romance. It's a girl thing. I would like to blame.
Sunker's a big softy, boys. This episode was briefly renamed 0 Hour because there was a concern that the subplot about oxygen conservation wasn't substantial enough to warrant the original title. However, it was then decided that Jamie Matheson had achieved a suitable balance between this element and the killer smart suits. Well, there you go. Well, and 0 Hour, I think, is an... I think 0 Hour was a title used for something else at one point, too. Yeah, I don't know. And the void is always waiting.
Is always waiting.
This isn't the best timing.
All right, spacewalk. Right. Oh,
wait,
gosh,
what?
That's exactly what you need. That is exactly what you need. The only bad thing about Voyager was that the freaking station barely came in. Your local station that had Voyager on it. Rabbit ears, Sunker, you remember those things? You're probably one of those rich kids that always had cable your entire life.
I grew up poor, motherfucker. I grew up poor.
But yeah, rabbit ears. Yep, UPN, baby. Voyager was on UPN. I think that was channel 32 in Kansas City. It was 32, United Paramount Network. UPN, baby. They had all kinds of great stuff on that one back then. But speaking of great things, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we can't give too much more teasing over there on YouTube. They'll probably smack our PP for what we've showed you already, and I'll have to cut things and edit them out later anyway. But you know what? It's worth it bringing all you guys over here. Yeah, guys, especially any of you guys that do catch this on the replay or anything like that. Please join us over on Rumble over there where we can do all this kind of stuff and review this and use proper fair use and all that kind of stuff without all the nonsense and BS and worry about getting our PP and the algorithm smacked for what we do, which completely and totally falls in line with fair use, but because that's just the way the algorithm is and too many idiots out there abuse the system, hey, them's the breaks, boys and girls. One asshole has got to ruin it for everybody. So, speaking of assholes, Sunker Maiden, my dear, tell everybody, Sunker, sister, tell everybody over there how wonderful it is to be over on Rumble and how they should join us over there before we leave.
You should absolutely join us on Rumble. We usually have a laugh and a half when I'm not getting too freaking pissy. Also, don't put your dick in the algorithm. It'll just grind it up. So hopefully you go over and you see the links and you jump over and continue watching this with us because we have no fucking idea what this episode is.
Yes, absolutely. Lunchables poor or thrift store clothes poor, right? Thrift store clothes.
Thrift store clothes. We didn't get Lunchables. It was thrift store clothes. You learned how to cut up a whole chicken because you can save way more money that way.
Yep, 100%. No, that's an absolute fact on that one. Absolute fact on that one. So, all right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you all very much, but YouTube's rules are the way they are. So, Fan Sites is off to Kick. Melissa Smith and everybody else over there on YouTube, I hope you guys join us over on Rumble or Kick or one of those other places wherever you feel comfortable. And if you don't want to set up an account, that's perfectly fine too. Just click the link down there. You'll be able to jump over and be able to watch it in your browser without signing up for an account or anything like that. So, we appreciate all of you guys so very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been fun, but YouTube, we'll see you later. Sunker, tell YouTube bye.
Goodbye, there YouTube. We go. And good night.
There we go.
Time to party on Rumble.
That's right. Party back over on Rumble side. Party on Rumble. All right, let's rock and roll, boys and girls. Season 10, episode 5, Oxygen.